Governor Bello Matawalle inaugurates State Economic Management Team. Both the People's Democratic Party and the All Progressives Congress have set up high-powered committees to oversee the December 5th Bakura by-election. Federal government inaugurates renegotiation team on ASU strike. On business, President Muhammadu Buhari urges Nigerians for more use of gas as alternative to petrol. On sports, FIFA queries NFF over Delta FA crisis. And on the international scene, Nigerian and Cameroonian army to strengthen border operation. Hello and welcome to Svtv News. I am Musa Joy Unyoda. The Zamfara State Governor Dr. Bello Matawalle Maradun has inaugurated the State Economic Management Team that will design sound macro and microeconomic standards of the state. The inauguration ceremony, which held at the Government House, Gusau New Council Chamber, has the State Deputy Governor Barrister Mahdi Aliu as chairman. The governor charged the economic team to come up with development aspirations of a contemporary generation for a sustainable development trajectory. For more on the story, over now to our correspondent Samira Ibrahim.
Governor Bello Matawalle said his administration's idea of constituting a very strong economic management team, which is the first of its kind since the creation of the state 24 years ago, is to make the state more economically viable and a cornerstone of industrial development, commerce and innovation in the country. He further stated that economy as the primary and more critical component of any development in the world has all-inclusive needs to good policies on how to harness the abundant economic potentials, particularly agriculture and solid minerals, which is the pride of the state. He also described how pathetic the state is despite the enormous potentials in agriculture and solid minerals, noting it is still struggling on how to harness or transform the sectors. Governor Bello Matawalle further said that the economic management team is aimed at providing more reliable alternative revenue sources to the state and Nigeria through diversification. He charged them to design and articulate more economic policy working documents for the state's sustainable economic growth and development. Samira Ibrahim, reporting for SVTV News, Gusau.
14 political parties will participate in the coming Saturday's by-election into Zamfara House of Assembly from Bakura Local Government Constituency. The State Resident Electoral Commissioner, Dr. Asma Osade, announced this to journalists in her office. She said in line with this, copies of election guidelines were circulated to all the political party leaders during a recent stakeholders meeting with the Commission. For more on the story, Sumaya Ibrahim reports.
Dr. Asma gave the assurance that adequate arrangement has been made to achieve a free and fair election. She explained that the constituency has 10 registration areas with a total of 92,697 registered voters, 14 polling units and 9 voting points, adding that registered voters have collected 68,615 permanent voters card (PVC), leaving a balance of 2,235 now in the custody of the Central Bank Gusau branch. The INEC commissioner drew the attention of voters and all participants in the election that it is imperative to make provision for face masks considering the lingering threats of COVID-19 pandemic. The resident electoral commissioner further stressed that all voters must wear face masks before voting. Mrs. Asma Umekudi explained that using face masks has become a national policy which must be respected. She noted that all eligible voters in Bakura will be allowed to vote. However, those with COVID-19 symptoms will be evacuated by medical personnel to be provided by the INEC. Sumaya Dosera reporting for SVTV News.
A 21-member committee has been set up by the national headquarters of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) to see to the conduct of December 5th by-election of Bakura State Assembly. The committee is under the chairmanship of Alhaji Aminu Waziri Tambuwal, who is also the governor of Sokoto State, with Alhaji Ahmed Fintiri, while Alhaji Ahmed Fintiri is the deputy chairman. Other members are Mr. Samuel Otom, Alhaji Babangida Aliu, Alhaji Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, Senator Ahmad Muhammad McCarthy, Alhaji Ramalan Yero, and Ambassador Ibrahim Kazauri. Others are Senator Danju Mala, Senator Dino Melai, Senator Dambaba, Senator Emmanuel Bacha, and Senator Shaibulao. The rest are Honorable Yakub Barde, Honorable Nasir Dantier, Honorable Majid Dahiru, Air Commodore Salisu Yushau, Ambassador Bashir Yuguda, Mr. Akpan Albert Basi, and Mr. Chukwuka Godfrey Utazi. Senator Gabriel Suswan is to serve as Secretary of the committee. Meanwhile, the chairman of Progressives Congress Caretaker Extraordinary Convention Planning Committee, Mr. May Malabuni, has named his Jigawa State counterpart, Badaru Abubakar, as chairman of 20-member election committee for the Bakura Zamfara State House of Assembly by-election. The Independent National Electoral Commission has fixed December 5th, 2020 for the conduct of by-elections across Nigeria. The State Commissioner of Health, Alhaji Yahaya Kanuma, has given the assurance that health services would greatly improve in the coming year. The Commissioner was speaking while addressing participants at a stakeholders meeting to review activities of his ministry. The Commissioner thanked all the stakeholders for their maximum cooperation and assured them of a better and adequate health sector in 2021. Alhaji Yahya Kanoma commended UNICEF for organizing the program, which is intended to update the knowledge of medical personnel. Governor Aminu Waziri Tambuwal of Sokoto State on Wednesday appraised the performance of the state 2020 budget in many sectors and expressed satisfaction with it. Of note, the governor emphasized that his administration is currently engaged in the provision of potable drinking water to 600 rural communities. Others include soon-to-be-constructed 500-kilometer feeder roads, fiscal discipline, construction of schools and primary health center, synergy in security operations, enhancing girl-child education, as well as ongoing plans to provide mass transit services for intra-city and intercity travels. For more on the story, over now to Rahama Ibrahim.
He stated this while responding to comments, suggestions, and observations made by the stakeholders at a town hall meeting with relevant stakeholders on the 2021 budget preparations held at the auditorium of Sultan Machido Institute for Quran and General Studies, Sokoto. While enumerating the projects, Governor Tambuwal stated that the state government will soon inaugurate a committee to ensure the safeguard of the projects executed in various parts of the state in order to protect them from abuse and vandalization. According to the governor, the state government will constitute a high-powered committee in every local government that will oversee projects executed by his administration in the respective communities. He explained that the committee will be charged with the responsibility of ensuring the proper use and maintenance of ongoing and completed projects in order to guard against vandalization. The committee, he added, will comprise of traditional and community leaders as well as religious leaders and responsible youths. That has been the report. Rama Ibrahim Dosa reporting for SVTV.
The federal government on Wednesday inaugurated a team for the renegotiation of the 2009 agreement reached between the government, academic staff union of universities, and other universities-based unions. While inaugurating the team in Abuja, the Minister of Education, Malam Adamu, said the federal government team is to take another look at the 2009 agreements reached with the university-based unions and work with each union towards making far-reaching recommendations that would reposition the Nigerian university system. For more on the story, over now to Beauty Abdulmalik.
Malam Adamu said that the government team, which is led by Professor Emeritus Munzali M. Jibril, is categorized into substantive members, advisors, and observers. The members of the team include Ambassador Nimotani Ola Akambi, Pro-Chancellor of Abubakar Tafawa Balewa University, Bauchi, Professor Emeritus Nimi Briggs, Pro-Chancellor, Federal University, Ndufu Alike Ikwo, Aklora SP Mbale, Pro-Chancellor, Federal University, Ukari, Professor Femi Odekunle, Pro-Chancellor, Federal University of Technology, Minna. The terms of reference of the newly inaugurated team include the renegotiation of the residual issues in the 2009 agreement between the federal government and the university-based unions towards a workable and implementable agreement between both parties, such that will facilitate a repositioning of Nigerian universities for greater responsibility in national development. The team is also to propose and prescribe short, medium and long-term measures for the sustainable funding and management of federal universities in order to restore lasting peace, stability, harmony and progress in the Nigerian university system. Beauty Abdulmalik reporting for SVTV News Kuso.
President Muhammadu Buhari has agreed to appear before the House of Representatives to address the worsening security situation in the country. This was revealed by the Speaker of the House, Femi Bajabiamila, who led the House leadership for a meeting with the President at the State House, Abuja, on Wednesday. He told State House correspondent after the meeting that they came to discuss the resolution of the House asking the President to appear before the members to address the situation in the country. He stated a date has now been agreed which he did not reveal. The House Speaker said the lawmakers spoke to the President on burning issues and he was willing to listen as is typical of Mr. President, the usual Democrat that he is. He assured that President Muhammadu Buhari is committed to the security of lives and properties of Nigerians.
The President is trying his best. Mr. President is doing his best, like all of us know. We are the people that are affected on this. So we cannot, it's my opinion. I have every right to talk. It's my opinion. Mr. Speaker, thank you for projecting I've said.
The second edition of the Nigerian Army Spiritual Warfare Seminar was opened on Thursday, 3rd December 2020 at the Nigerian Army Resource Center at Sokoro in Abuja. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, was the special guest of honor at the occasion. It should be recalled that the Nigerian Army Spiritual Warfare Seminar is a program organized by the Chaplain and Islamic Directorate of the Nigerian Army in the year 2019. The program is expected to sensitize and mobilize religious spiritual leaders to enlighten and educate their followers on the true and correct tenets of Islamic and Christian religions so as not to be easily brainwashed by the devilish and wicked teachings of Boko Haram's ideology. The seminar is also intended to stimulate renewed vigor to fighting ways of curtailing and tackling Boko Haram's extremism. At an event to commemorate World AIDS Day 2020, the First Lady of Nigeria, Dr. Mrs. Aisha Buhari, charged health authorities to remember that they are obligated to reduce any potential risk to the HIV community as funding researchers and healthcare diverted to COVID-19. She said it is essential that health services remain available to people living with and affected with HIV. The First Lady was speaking during the Special Assistant to the President on African First Ladies, Dr. Mrs. Mairo Almakura, on Tuesday, 1st December 2020. For more on the story, Hawa Muhammad reports.
The event was held at the African First Ladies Peace Mission Secretariat, Abuja. Mrs. Buhari noted that no other epidemic has received as much global attention and support like HIV in the past 2 decades, even though the goal was not achieved yet. But the country has indeed traveled a long distance from where it started. As the UN AIDS HIV champion, Mrs. Buhari said she advocates for the eradication of mother-to-child transmission of HIV in Nigeria, and she has mobilized the support of governors' wives to do the same at the same level. She has also mobilized her team at Future Assured to collaborate with NACA on the inclusion of HIV services during the MNCH weeks. She said a joint initiative by the Embassy of the People's Republic of China, African countries and international organizations has led to a 3-year health promotion and HIV prevention advocacy among young people to ensure that HIV/AIDS is eradicated by 2030. This event, she said, is the second in the series. Hawa Muhammad reporting for SVTV News.
The Speaker of House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, has assured that the Ninth House would continue to prioritize the health sector with a view to ensuring better service delivery for Nigerians. Part of the measures, the Speaker said, is that the House would look at the issues of the outstanding allowances of the Nigerian health workers. Addressing a delegation of the Nigerian Medical Association led by its president, Professor Innocent Ocha, who paid him a courtesy call in his office, the Speaker also assured that the House would fast-track the legislative process on a bill to repeal and reenact the Nigerian Medical and Dental Council Act. For more on the story, Shehu Magaji report.
Healthcare is one of the major areas of focus of the Ninth House legislative agenda. He assured the Council that the House will continue to stand with them on anything that will help the country move forward. The Speaker also supported the idea of a bank for the health sector, as suggested by the Nigerian Medical Association president. He said the House will look at the suggestion to review the retirement age of medical doctors and the other health workers, against insinuations in some quarters that the health sector has the least budget of about 43 billion. Mr. Gbajabiamila says the sector gets over 1 trillion naira budgetary allocation. Earlier, the Nigerian Medical Association President Prof. Uja, who is also the Vice Chancellor of the Federal University of Health Sciences, Otufo, says the visit was to strengthen the relationship between the Speaker's office and the association. Shehu Magaji reporting for SBTV News.
Still to come your way is the business, the sport, and the international news. But before that, a quick commercial break. Stay tuned. Welcome back on Business. Over now to Samira Ibrahim.
Welcome to Business Desk. President Muhammadu Buhari on Tuesday in Abuja appreciated Nigerians and organized labor for restraint, understanding and patience as the country tackles myriad economic challenges, assuring that the federal government is working hard to ameliorate the situation. Speaking at a virtually held event at the State House to unveil National Gas Expansion Program and the National Auto Gas Rollout Initiative, the President urged Nigerians to embrace the use of gas as an alternative to fuel. The President said the deregulation of the downstream sector had exposed many to price volatilities in the global market, urging attention to more affordable alternatives for energy, especially with Nigeria's heavy reserve. The President explained that the rollout of the National Gas Expansion Program Auto Gas Initiative is coming at the right time, especially in light of global crude oil market fluctuations, coupled with full deregulation of the local premium motor spirit markets. These developments have made it imperative to focus on gas as an alternative fuel to move Nigeria from the conventional dependence on white products for autos and prime movers of industrial applications to cleaner, more available, accessible and affordable energy source. And that's all on the Standard Voice Business Desk. Back to the newsroom.
And on sports, Abubakar Sufyan has more detail.
Hello, welcome to Sports Room. I'm Abu Sufyan Abubakar. The Nigerian Football Federation have been queried by FIFA over Delta FA crisis, following the petition to FIFA on Nigerian Football Federation's interference on the Delta FA elections won by Edemo Fuludu as the chairman and Victor Ikpeba as the vice chairman. FIFA has reportedly written to the NFF questioning its alleged interference. This followed the normalization committee the football body came up with to conduct another election that has brought a factional Delta State Football Association. Authoritative sources said the NFF is preparing a defense of a supposed suspension given to the chairman, Edema Fuludu, while he was acting chairman, among other issues. The reason the FA started and stopped the formal setup of arbitration as requested by the South-South FA chairman on non-recognition of the FA as led by Edema Fuludu after the 13th July 2019 elections is also among other issues raised in the petition. And that's all we have on sports today. I am Svtv Abubakar once again.
And on the international scene, the Theater Command Operation Lafia Dole is strengthening border operation with Cameroonian troops along the Mandara Mountain to clear remnants of Boko Haram insurgents in the area. Theater Commander Major General Farouk Yahaya stated this at the end of a 3-day working visit by the Cameroonian Defense Forces to the Command and Control Center Malari Cantonment Maiduguri. Major General Yahaya said the visit, which was under the platform of the Multinational Joint Task Force, was to enhance collaboration between troops of the two countries. He described the meeting as fruitful and has further cemented the relationship between Nigeria and Cameroon. That has been the news from Standard Voice Television. To end the news, a quick look at the major headlines. Governor Bello Matawalle inaugurates State Economic Management Team. Both the People's Democratic Party and the All Progressives Congress have set up high-powered committees to oversee the December 5th Bakura by-election. Federal government inaugurates renegotiation team on ASU strike. On business, President Muhammadu Buhari urges Nigerians for more use of gas as alternative to petrol. On sports, FIFA queries NFF over Delta FA crisis. And on the international scene, Nigerian and Cameroonian army to strengthen border operation. That's the news on behalf of the production crew and head of news and current affairs department, Alhaji Ibrahim Garoba Tunau. I still remain Musa Joy Onyoda. Thanks for watching and stay tuned.